Welcome back to Conversations with Sharyn and Rosa. I'm Rosa.
And I'm still Sharyn. And this week we are totally on happy sheets because the world has changed. Our hearts are full. We have a new President-elect Biden and a Vice President-elect Harris. Kamala Harris. And on the sneak tip, I think we both got a little crush on her. But in any event, we are happy. We have prayed, and we are thankful for all the possibilities that are coming our way.
Yes, so congratulations once again. And before I get into the topic, I do want to thank each and every one of you all for tuning in once again. We so appreciate the love that we actually receive, whether it's been through our email, some of our friends who text us, through Facebook, or through our site here at in our YouTube channel. So thank you. We so appreciate it. Keep it coming. We love hearing from you.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So.
And a little bit more about that is just that, you guys, we appreciate you viewing, but some of you are viewing a lot, but you are not subscribing. We ask that you view and subscribe. Doesn't cost you a penny. We just want you to do it, and it helps us. It lets us know how we're doing, other than the feedback and everything, but it also allows us to keep growing. And that's just the way it does. It works. So please don't fail to subscribe. And the ones who have, thank you. And we're getting better, and we hope that you continue to see us. See us, okay?
and grow with us as we grow.
Absolutely.
Too. And so just hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell, because then that'll give you updates every time we come on. But enough about that. Today's topic is y'all asked for it, so we are coming out today. More room out than in. So today's topic is coming out. More room out than in.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people have been, asking, like, when y'all gonna do the coming out topic, or even just friends asking me questions like, how did you know you were gay? So for the curious ones, and if there's any other lesbians watching, I know you guys can relate to today's topic, because there's always those questions. So
yes, and everyone has their own story.
No
two stories are alike. And today Rosa's going to be sharing her coming out story. I'm going to give you a couple of pieces of mine, and because it's real, but like I say, it's unique to every person, because everyone has their own path.
Absolutely.
that they're traveling on.
Yeah, and even our story is so different from each other, so on two different sides of the spectrum. Mine is more common, I guess, than Sharyn's would be, but for me, I didn't come out to later in life. So
excuse me, what's late in life?
Late in life is, I was about 38, 39 when I came out.
That's a little late.
All the way out. But mine started when I was in, probably my first crush was in about 7th grade. And it was on one of my teachers. But of course, growing
That's
up,
normal.
Growing up, you find out that everybody has crushes of the same sex at some point, and then it's kind of, when you veer off. But back then I didn't think of that in that form. I just knew there was something different about this woman every time, I went to class, how I felt, and I felt like it was feelings like I would get nervous around her, and she was my teacher, her job was to help me learn, but I just couldn't concentrate. I was always, trying to be that perfect student so she could like me,
Was she pretty?
So that was...
Was she pretty?
I guess when I'm looking back on it, I know back then I thought she was pretty. When I look back on it now, I'm like,
she's average. Okay.
Average old white woman, but she was good. So at that time, throughout different points in my life, different feelings would come back and forth, and I wasn't quite sure what those were. A lot of it is going through puberty too. You don't know where you are, when puberty hits. You got so many emotions going up and down.
Sure.
But when I got into college is when I felt independent and free, and I am able to make my own decisions, and so whatever those consequences are, I had to abide by those. But so college was the first time I actually experienced another woman, and
little girl action.
And I was actually an undergrad, and she was a grad student at the time, and it was planned. She and I had talked about it, which made it a lot better.
Was she gay? Was she gay?
No, and she's not. We're good friends to this day, and she's not out, so I'm not gonna put her out. But yeah, so it just was that type of thing, and I mean, that feeling that I had, because I had boyfriends up until then, and I had sex with boyfriends up until then, but it was an experience that I probably will never forget. When people say you remember your first time, I do, and I remember that more so than my first time with a guy. So
wonder why.
Yeah. And after she and I we got together several different times throughout the time we both were in college. But when we were together, it was like magic for me. Like, I knew what I knew. And even though I dated my kid's dad in college as well, we would break up. At one point, I had told him, that I was with this particular woman, and he was okay with it, and we got past that, went on. After that, life happened, and he and I married some 10 years later, and have 2 beautiful kids. And
no regrets.
When I was about 28, 29, those feelings started coming back. And I hadn't, been with another woman outside of the woman from college. And so I just knew that I had to act on them at this point. So nothing happened because, you go through that scare phase. I had come from church upbringing family. Yeah. And I didn't know. I was just nervous. I was scared, nervous, frightful, all of that, and it was probably the first time in my life that something really scared me to say who I was or what I really wanted, and I wasn't for sure that I actually really wanted that. So I went on to marry my children's father, and had that pretend life. I just knew it was something missing. He's great guy. We got along well, for the kids' sake, up until our divorce. That's when everything fell apart, but that's when everything normally falls apart.
Well, divorce kind of bring out the worst.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I told him, I think I was about 37 years old, and when I told him that, maybe 38, when I told him that, I wanted a divorce, and I just wasn't sure where I was, with my sexuality. And when I say that was a scary moment for me, it really was, for so many different reasons. Financially,
Oh, sure.
Like,
sure.
I'm divorcing this man who was pretty much the breadwinner in the family. I had a job, but like I said in one of the earlier, one of the earlier segments, my money went to, our, recreational activities, whatever we decided to do. But so I definitely was scared about that. I was scared about what people would say at that point. My family, my close friends, because normally I'm not even a person that cared what people say. But this was just a point in my life where it was so much going on, but I knew I had to do this.
Yes.
For me, and to be a better person for just everybody, for my kids, for to be a better friend to my ex-husband, and just for me to be happy, because I had gone through this whole life not happy. And when I had my first experience with the friend in college, I was like 22 then, so here it is, 22, and now I'm 38, 39 with all of these same feelings coming up. So I just had to do something. So that was that. He wasn't happy about me asking for the divorce, and especially for that particular reason, but even coming out, I did have family and friends that decided that they're gonna just go another way since you know, it was something that they didn't agree with, and I respected their opinions every time something else came
Rosa.
in.
This is not a, oh, I'm with George, but I really like John. This is not, oh, gee, I'm still straight. Yeah. This is like, hey, I'm a married woman, a mother of 2, and deuces. I like women. I feel the need to be with them and see you later. You know, and so it's a whole change. This is a whole putting yourself on a different path. This is a new world.
Yeah, it was like emotional. Yeah. I mean, it was up, downs, and
huge.
You know, and my connection with women was so much stronger. Like my emotions were, you know, that much greater. It just was really, really hard for me, but reassuring and refreshing at the same time. It was almost like, you know, something had lifted from me.
Sure, once you made a decision.
I felt free.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, I felt free.
Wow.
Outside of Biden being, you know, president-elect, I felt free. So,
wow, that's powerful.
So that's pretty much my coming out story.
And still going on, because you still, you know, all of your family doesn't know. I mean, well, don't get me wrong, when we got married and, you know, people were like, well, you know, she's in California, she married some woman and she says she's gay, and what about the children, you know?
Yeah, so but it's the family
we smooth it out. Everything good. It works out.
Close, yeah.
And it's your life. It is
definitely my life. Like I said, fact check it if you want. It's true.
It is, yeah. And so, you know, what today's topic is coming out. What makes it so difficult for us to come out? Why should we come out? Is it best? You know, we do it about maybe it's important to you to be authentic, honest, real, true to yourself, whatever you need to say, you know, to get it going. It's just like, why is it important to me that I let them know who I really am? And you know, if you're not true and honest with yourself, you know, you start there.
Yeah, who can you be true and honest with?
Right. And I'm not saying it's easy, because sometimes I hear some horrific stories. You know, people being disinherited, ignored, don't come home again. Well, I won't see you. You're no longer my daughter. You know, putting X's through your name and all that. You no longer have a mother and a sister, and
for 3 years, I kind of experienced that.
Yeah,
you know, my parents was not trying to hear it. Wasn't trying to contact me. I wasn't trying to contact them either. So it's all good.
And what tickles me with some, maybe not tickle, but you know, what I find it interesting is just like they act like you're just you got a little something and you'll get over it. We'll talk to you again when you're straight again. You know, as opposed to like, don't you know, this is not a joke. This is real. This is my life. Who would make a joke like that? Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm 38 and I'm going to change my life upside down. You know, the kids are, you know, a divorce is impending. The kid, you know, and divorce, separation, relocation, financial concerns.
Yes.
Ooh, what, you know, if that's door number 1, go to door number 2, because that's a lot going on.
Right.
Mine was, I would say, nothing like that.
So opposite. I said ours is 2 different stories.
Like, you guys know how old I am. You know. So I've been out here for a while.
Say it again. You 65.
I'm 65 and embracing it. So I knew at a very, very early age. When I say early age, I'm talking kindergarten. I'm talking like, you know, now people who are my generation, do you remember in school when they would turn the lights out and they take the cots out and it was quiet time and you get a little carton of milk and 3 graham crackers or whatever it was and be quiet for 20 minutes or 30 minutes? Girl, I was over there on the other cot. The lights come on, I'm in somebody's cot because I just wanted to be close. You know, kindergarten. I'm serious. So, and you say, well, Sharyn, you couldn't have known. Okay.
Because she dramatic, but this is true.
Kindergarten.
She told me this before.
I'm just trying to,
you know,
so I go for it. It's 5th grade, and of course, like you know, you fall in love with your 5th grade teacher or whatever. You know, so you get past that. You know, it's just another crush, but that's normal for most of us, right? I remember in 7th grade, and I went to tell my mother. I said, Mom, cause who else you gonna tell what's going on? Your mom, I think I'm funny, cause that's what they used to call it back in the day. Funny.
In the day, yeah.
So my mother said, funny as in ha. And I'm like, no, I'm funny. And she said, and she gave me that look like she wanted to know if I knew what I was saying. And she said, there's nothing funny about you. Go back outside and play. But I'm trying to tell her that I like Charmaine Hayes in 7th grade. I came back in 9th grade. Ma, I like Mary. What? You mean like her? Like her? No, I really like her. And she gave me that look again, like, in her own way, like just putting it. I don't want to hear that my child's trying to be funny, and I don't mean ha ha, right? So that goes on, and you get your crushes, and then you got your second cousin removed, and your third cousin removed, who come over to spend the night. And I always wanted to play house, and of course I was the daddy, and one of my cousins, like, you know what, Sharon, we can play house, but you be really playing house, because you be on me trying to grind. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is my third cousin. You don't think about that then, but she is my third cousin removed, so isn't that legal? But in any event, I'm just experimenting, and so is she. So I get through ninth grade, and I know by this time I'm kissing girls, I'm dreaming about girls. I love Doris Day. Well, come on, that was who was in my time. Doris Day, I wanted to kiss her too, and I wanted to be Cary Grant, because he's so suave and debonair. So I'm coming up with some male-connected behaviors, and my family's trying to ignore it. So, that 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 stuff, 16 years old, you can't erase it. I'm fooling around with one of the girls around the corner. And, oh my gosh, her mother was an evangelist. Her father was a police officer who got killed in the line of duty. Her sister was away from school, and me and Cheryl we run in the house like it's our house. Her sister came home from school early one day. We upstairs coming out of the shower, and I remember the girl. She says, "I don't know what y'all doing, but I know it's against God." So she runs and tells her mother, "Mom, Sharon and Cheryl upstairs," and all I saw was a towel, right? So that wasn't a bad thing for me, because me and Cheryl we were doing what we were big enough to do. The woman comes around to my mother's house and says, "Mrs. Williams, I got an issue. Your daughter has been doing something against God in my house." Some of them like, what could she have done? Did she steal something, this and that? She said, she's doing some things with my daughter that I can't even repeat. So my mother's embarrassed, and I'm looking at my mother, and now she's going to try to accept the truth. She looks at me, she said, "Were you top or bottom?" What does my mother know about top or bottom? Right? So I can't answer my mother's question. This woman is telling me I'm banned from her house because I've been sleeping with her daughter. I'm 60 years old. In the midst of everything, I'm in high school. My mother, I don't know if she was joking or whatever, but she sends me to an all-girl high school. That was the point of no return. I got to high school and it was all girls. Oh my God. I've never been, you say free. Mm-hmm. I'm in the fire tower with the white girls. I'm in the gym with the black girls. I'm running for the bus. I'm living my life, right? So I'm having, as far as I'm concerned, a normal lesbian life, because I done told my mother, because once you get past your mother, nobody else gonna scare you like your mama, right? So we go on. I'm in high school. Of course, you fall in love at least 3 times. My gym teacher was named, I swear this is her name. Her name was Sandy Beach.
PE teacher.
That's right. The phys
I'm a physical education
right,
major,
right,
so I get a little upset with that. But okay.
The phys ed always goes. So at this time, I know who I am. I know who I think I am. And I just didn't understand all the pushback. Because my other buddies who were straight, they were walking around having sex, taking birth control pills, doing drugs, smoking dope, hanging out with the bad boys and all that. And all I'm doing is trying to kiss a girl in the fire tower, right? So we get through this time in my life. And so as you're trying to be who you are, my mother's insisting that I'm heterosexual. So now it's time to graduate from high school, the all-girls school. And my mother said, "You going to your prom?" I said, "I'm not going to my prom." She said, "Well, yes, you are." And I said, "Well, okay, I'm going to the prom, but I'm not taking no date. Because I don't have no boy up here be trying to kiss on me and looking stupid in the picture. No, Daddy ain't trying to do that, right?" So she had my first cousin make my dress. I look like the princess of poverty from Philadelphia. When you see the pictures, you say, "Oh my God, what were we thinking?" It's 1972. So in any event, so I go to the prom. My mother got my date for me. Okay, little Matthew. So so Matthew takes me to the prom, and I was okay with him coming just for the picture, just to make my mother happy. You know, so I could, you know, with the tiara. I wore a tiara. Okay, it was that time. So I get through that. It's high school. You graduate, and I was on the trolley car one day, and I said, it was at Broad and Erie. The trolley car would stop, and it was a recruiting station there. I got off the trolley, walked into the recruiting station. Right? So I said, okay, I'll go in the Navy. They'll station me in California, and I'll meet Jane Fonda. See how simple my life was? No, it wasn't that simple. Meanwhile, my mother's got other plans for me, okay? She says, you know, you need to cut this, I think I'm a bulldagger. And see, those were the words they used to use for dyke women. She says, I don't want you being no bulldagger. And I'm like, ew, I don't want to be a bulldagger either. I mean, what's the word, right? So I think it was more than anything, and this was some hurtful words. She says, I'd rather see you be a streetwalker than be a bulldagger. And that's pretty harsh for somebody is 16 years old.
But it's the thinking.
Yeah, it's the thinking. Like, I'd rather see
work.
Right. So then my sister, who at the time she was in the Church of Jesus, I was dating some girl my sister was a welfare supervisor. I was dating some girl who was a sister of one of her co-workers. My sister calls my mother, Sharon's a dyke, and the people at my job know she's a dyke. So now I'm getting all this bad press. So that's why I went away. More than anything was to kind of quiet the family down. Meanwhile, my sister is a teenage pregnancy. My older brother's selling drugs. My youngest brother is a knucklehead. And they talking about me because I'm gay. So my life starts. I go into the military and they put me in, oh, come on. Talk about heaven. I'm in a room with, at the time, like, it must have been like 65 women. Open bay, you know what I mean? And I'm like, so many women. And you know, when you're gay, you're looking to find out who else is gay, right? So I'm over there shining shoes for the little white girls because I know they don't know shit about shining those shoes. I'm shining their shoes. One girl, I'm ironing her shirts for her, you know what I mean? And you know, we're helping each other out. And then one woman told me, she says, I know what you are. She says, I'm not opposed to it, but let's not do it during boot camp. So meanwhile, I'm trying to be cool because this girl done winked at me and told me, she knows what I'm about and it's okay with her, right? Even though we were kissing in the laundry room and everything. But she would say, why don't you just calm down? She takes me home with her. Just left Philadelphia. I make it through boot camp. I don't come back to Philly. I go to, where did I go to? Pikes Peak. I went to Colorado Springs, Colorado with this very lovely woman, right? So I'm living the dream, baby. I am living the dream. As time goes on, maybe for about 4 or 5 years, I'm feeling I'm already liberated because I know I'm gay and I don't mind telling somebody else that I'm gay. But you got to be careful who you say that to because everybody else is like, oh my God, I think she's a homosexual.
Yeah, especially back in that time too.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it wasn't like today.
Well,
everybody can put it on their resume.
This one woman, she would just look at me and it wasn't a, I think you look good kind of look. And she says, I know what you are and I don't think it's funny. She reports me to NIS, Naval Investigative Service. And they, for suspicions of being an aggressive homosexual. And I said, aggressive as opposed to passive? I didn't get it. But there I am telling this, you know, they send you down to this little room with the little people and the room is warm and there's no windows in it. And we was like, do you know why you're here? No. Well, there's suspicions that you may be attracted to your own sex. Do you kiss women? Only on special holidays and only my relatives. And I'm thinking, what? I mean, it's like my life was upside down all of a sudden. I thought everybody was gay or would want to at least try to be. I was wrong. So that scared the bejesus out of me because already as my career was getting ready to start, it was ready to be snuffed out because, you know, I just said the wrong thing to the wrong person. Meanwhile, they couldn't find enough evidence that I might be homosexual in 1972.
Because back then, if you were suspected of being gay, they can just throw you out. That's
Absolutely.
the reason. Now it's not, but
absolutely, just throw you right on out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, now you got to explain this to your mother that you really are a bulldagger and you got thrown out of the military.
You gotta go back home.
So life gets a little normal for me. I calm down a little bit because you know when you find out who you are, you're usually happy about it.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever. If you're supposed to be a nun, now I'm a nun, and you're happy about that. I'm a baker. I'm a singer. Hey, I'm a lesbian, and oh, that's not funny. Oh, that's not cool. Why can't I be who I am, right?
Right.
So I go back, so you're in the military for several years, but I come back to Philadelphia to see how everybody's doing and to check on the temperature. Meanwhile, I'm stationed in San Diego and I'm living all of my fantasies in California because it was just so open and we were partying hard, and it was the late 70s. Well, and this is hard, for me to even admit to this. So you come see how your family doing, you see your mom and and all your sisters and brothers and everything. So by this time, like I said, my middle sister had become Jesus person, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not cracking, but she was just ×5 over with it. You know what I mean? And I mean, like when she see me come through the door, she like get a cross. What she's dyke. So I wanted to. I hadn't seen my nieces in several years, of course, so I wanted to spend some time with them. And we waiting on my sister to bring the kids over, but she delayed, and then she's not coming. And my mother like, where the kids? And she made it very clear to my mother. She says, I don't want my children to be around Sharyn. It's no telling what she will teach them. And my heart just stopped because I've never had anything. So what a terrible thing to say. This is my sister. And I wanted to, have some kind of relationship with my nieces. And I'm like, what would I teach them other than good manners and buy them some ice cream? And I'm on the way out of town. So that was a learning moment for me because I realized, okay, you kind of know everybody's not gay, and everyone's not okay with your being gay, and so it kind of changed my thinking. It really, really did. And so I kind of slowed my road a little bit, and you kind of evaluate. I knew I was definitely gay. I can't trade my family in, but it hurt me to the point I was stunned. And I say, well, maybe I don't need to come back to Philadelphia too often because I'm still gay.
Yeah, and you probably thought everybody felt like that?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Yeah.
I felt like that. So, and those were just some of the experiences that were starting to thread the needle for me. Because when you're young and you're happy and you're 21, 25 years old, you're fierce. You're happy that you're happy, and you think everybody else should be happy. That was some of my journey, not to mention paying a lot of dues career-wise, because by this time I'm getting serious about my career. Go to college, finish college. I get a master's degree. I'm doing this. I'm trying to get this training, that training, this certification. So I'm a little bit more invested into my career now, and this is long before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I don't see you, I don't want to know, sneaky, I see you, you don't see me. It was long before that. This is still, they can kick you out the military about it. And by this time I done picked up chief. I'm trying to be senior chief. And I say it's time to go. Because by this time I'm in my 30s. And when you are, and you are who you are, it's hard not to be that person.
Right.
And the fear that I would have, like coming to work every day, anybody can just tell a lie and said, Sharyn Williams said something to me and I think she made a pass at me. And they would have to investigate you or even almost put you out of the military. Yeah. And I didn't want to live with that kind of fear. So I made it to almost 22 years. Fair winds and following seas, got on out there and went on and reinvented myself. So that is some of my coming out story. And I'm saving all the nasty parts for part 2.
Absolutely, because I got some other things in between those stories. Yeah. A lot does happen to you. Yeah.
So I'm asking. So the question still remains to the audience. Are you out? And was it easy for you to come out? And if you're not out, why not? Right. Why not? And it's such a personal
what is
decision.
The fear? What is allowing you to live in that lifestyle that you're not happy with?
And as we say, it's not a lifestyle; it's a life with style. But it's really hard because when you talk to your friends, your buddies, and your other girlfriends and stuff, and every story is different. Yeah. I've seen people, like I said, truly got disinherited, or the father says you're no longer my child, you cannot come home because you like girls, and it's just as hard with men too. I'm just focusing on women because I'm talking about what I know about as a lesbian, but I also had a lot of male friends that the road for them was not easy either.
Absolutely.
It was not. We're at a different time in our life too, because as we say that, there's still young people out there who are being terrorized by their own families.
Absolutely.
Their families.
Absolutely.
I don't mean bullied at school because you're gay. I'm talking about your family is tormenting you about it.
Yeah.
And that's very difficult. Even, people say, oh, everything has changed.
But I think that too, because this was the fears that I had in doing it early, because you're still so dependent on your parents. You may need them to send you some coins or something when you in college and you starving, that type of thing. But so you just get fearful. But when you're an adult and you're doing for yourself, I think that was why I was able to come out, because I was just okay with doing whatever I needed to do for me, and I didn't care what my family and parents thought at that point. It was just like, they either love me or they're not. I can't make somebody
be okay with it.
Yeah, I can't.
Right.
I can't make someone love me just for that. And I just couldn't understand why people would even be upset. Like Sharyn was saying, she had a brother that's still in me too. I had family members who were just kind of off the wall, and it's like everybody's okay with that. Everybody's okay with Johnny. Right. Not, you don't take your kids over there because everybody know he filling up on you. They okay with it though.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody celebrate when you get out of jail. They want to throw a party, but you say you gay. That is the sin of all sins.
Boom.
Trumps everything, and it's like, I don't understand. I'm not hurting anybody. I ain't been in jail.
Yeah, everybody's of age.
On nobody. Right.
Right. Yeah, that still mystifies me.
It does, and I just don't get it. It's like, it's just the sin of all sins. It's like, you can forgive everybody else in your family and be okay when that person is around, but you can't be okay when your son and daughter says that they are gay and they're happy. You just can't be happy for them. That's what I don't understand.
So is that cultural?
It's their life.
And we're talking our primary...
I don't think it's cultural.
Really?
I think it happens in all, ethnicities. I know white
maybe,
folks
but for different reasons, though.
It's definitely for different reasons.
So let me say this, as our focus is black lesbians in our community. So why do black folks trip it so much?
Yeah, and I don't have any statistics on this, but for me, I just feel like it in the black household, it's more religious. In the white household, it's more embarrassment. I don't
know. I think you may be right. I don't know, but I just know we do seem to trip it.
That's just my opinion.
You know what I mean? The more mixed my friend and my social group is, the less drama is about it. But if I'm around, mostly blacks, they still got stink eye. They stick to the wall. Like, she's what? Like, like you want to snatch them up and drag them down to the basement or something. It's just and don't even start me on that. We're not even gonna do a show on that. That just makes me crazy. It makes me crazy.
Yeah, we might have to do a show on it. Just make it
and then they still got all the crazy just erroneous information shooting around in their head. I remember I was had a coworker, and she said, Sharyn, are you one of them lazies? She said, well, you can't be because you wear lipstick. And I'm just saying, you are so out of touch. You know what I mean? Right. You are so out of touch with reality. You think I'm not gay because I wear lipstick.
She always wears lipstick.
All the time.
Been wearing it forever. Been gay forever. So.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
But it is funny how you see the different stereotypical people, what they think gay should look like.
Right,
you come in the room, if I walk in the room, in my dress and heels, nobody ever suspects that I'm gay. If I tell somebody that I am married to a woman, you can almost hear like a pin drop.
Right, and it's and also so many things are shooting through their head at some time, at the same time, and Rosa had me with her, and like, oh, there's my wife over there, and and they trying to be cool.
Yeah.
But it ain't cool. Yeah. But they need to be cool. So they're nice to meet you, and they don't.
Yeah, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, you have thrown me for a loop.
Yeah.
So it's all good. So,
but back to you all. We would love to hear your coming out stories too.
Right.
If you're not, comfortable with sharing on our Facebook or even on our YouTube channel, just email us.
Absolutely.
I just would love to just hear and understand other people's coming out story. Because I know that, as Sharyn said earlier, nobody's is the same. It might
no
be
two stories
similar, but it's never the same. And the experiences that you go through are never going to be the same either.
Right. So there's no right or wrong. We just want to know, how you do it, because it does happen to all of us at some time. You know what I mean? Someone that you go on your road and your path and everything. Somebody that you're in somebody's life who they're saying they never knew you were gay, and will it change the dynamics of your friendship if they do know you're gay? Yes. And why? Yes. Like somebody's going to love you less. So exactly. Be who you are. Keep Absolutely. It real. And be true to yourself. That, like I said, once you're true to yourself, everybody else takes the back seat.
Exactly.
And I think we're about as good as it gets. Rosa's comfortable with herself. Y'all know me. I'm good. And we're wishing you the best. So until next time, we're wishing all of you the very best
of all good things. Stay safe and stay woke. We appreciate you and thank you for listening.